Mercer.
Tim Mercer. Mr. Tim Mercer is the author of
Bootstrap.
So we're all comfortable on what we're talking about? You feel good?
Yeah, what I'll do is, like I always do,
Yeah.
but I'll be more on the answering side today.
Yeah.
He's gonna pop off a lot of questions.
Yeah.
It's primarily about questions from a new investor.
Okay.
And they can just be questions that you may have or people around you that may have. Okay. We'll answer.
Okay. And mix it between commercial and
Yeah, that's what I was just about to
Yeah.
say. Make sure you mix it.
And,
Like, you can boss the
and
questions.
finance as well too. They got questions around finance, how finance and deals work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like this shirt.
Oh yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate it's perfect for this.
Yeah.
It's perfect for this. And the name of the podcast is Bootstrap Millionaire.
No, it's
Culture RE.
Culture RE.
Yeah.
Oh, we're already live? I'm gonna go
Right.
this
That's the way you're
way.
telling me about.
So yours is already going.
Yeah. So we haven't started shooting yet. We just going over what we're gonna talk about, but you know.
Stay tuned.
You're right. Stay tuned. If anybody's even on there right now, if you are, smash the like button. So we getting ready. We still setting up.
Googled it, but
We down. We down. We in Midtown. So
There's a way
And
around.
yours on YouTube, right?
right.
Yeah.
We'll go to open.
Yeah.
Here's your charger.
You have to close that door.
Do you want me in?
But they might be quiet.
I know you gotta read, don't you?
Yeah. Alright, cool. Everybody's situated. Everyone has water that needs water.
Yeah, I got one around me.
Beau, you need anything?
You started?
We hear about you.
Oh, wait, side.
You can go live on mine now.
And then
So you
up.
want to introduce?
And
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
So what did you do? Your casino?
Casino. Casino.
Telogium?
No.
Like
Not
Trio?
that
You
one.
don't unlock your phone.
Kelly, I swear I'm doing it exactly what you did.
Like a plus sign.
Like who?
Oh, I did it wrong. I went wrong.
Who is that?
Right there, yeah, don't know you
Right.
pick up
Yeah.
anything.
I want to know that one.
No, that's right, that's right.
Too many people watch.
Right.
So Tim, be conscious that if you lean back a little
Okay.
bit, you're gonna be out of
Out of
Kelly's
the
frame,
shot,
but you're
okay.
gonna be in the main one.
Okay, so as long as I stay a little more
Yeah,
to the
a
mic,
little
closer.
forward,
Okay,
yeah.
got it, all right, cool.
Everybody sounds really good this week.
Check,
Cool,
check.
All right.
Wait, do that again?
Check, check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Check.
Mic check, mic
Everybody's
check.
good?
Mic 4.
Casino go?
Mic check. Mic check.
Awesome.
Mic 4.
Everybody's fucking live.
Cool, cool.
All right, guys, we're about to go. Wait, take the phone.
You got it? That
Yes.
look like it.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm gonna go live on yours, Kelly.
Okay.
Why is the frame even smaller now?
I don't got it cut out.
Yeah, everybody got caught on.
What are we saying for head press?
It's saying create a room and invite, so,
Oh,
yeah, but like next, I think I have to go next.
All right. So
This is my
you know,
first time
still
live
setting
on
up.
this
You know, since we don't like YouTube, we just talking to
Six,
Yeah.
a couple
Good.
people watching. That's cool.
yeah.
And if you out there and you watching, make sure y'all pick up his book. It's called Bootstrap Millionaire. So it's Mr. Tim
My
Mercer.
man,
So,
all right, thanks for the
So like
plug.
this,
Thanks
it
for
looked
the
good
plug.
there,
Thanks for
and
the
then
plug.
as soon as you press it in, it like,
We doing plugs. Let me get right.
that's okay.
There you go, we doing
Yeah,
plugs.
yeah, so-
We doing plugs.
this is the
plug.
book
It's just
right
gonna have
here.
to be what it's gonna be. I'm
It's the
gonna
book.
try. Well,
Can we put it somewhere else? Right?
I said, go get up, my love, you already there.
I've had enough.
All right, what I'll do is
Oh, you want to hold to be able to stand up?
I'm gonna go live from the front
That's a
camera,
good point, yeah.
but I'm gonna have to flip
Like
it.
that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
And it's in the
we'll
shop,
do that
right?
now.
You see?
And let's set the
Set my
settings.
shot. Look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, yeah, I think so, yeah.
And see if it's different.
Nah, I just gotta change the
Width of the camera.
I'm practicing now. I had set it on practice.
This is what it looks like, people.
Get the right,
Behind the
that's right,
scenes,
this
yeah.
is behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
It's still zooming.
Yeah. Yeah, change phones.
Yeah.
I would.
I tell you,
I
I'm
just
the phone.
I just don't want nobody to call this phone.
Oh, just put that on do not
Put
disturb.
on, yeah, do not disturb.
Oh, I never used that.
Get that
I
nighttime
used it.
feature on.
Yeah.
It's a little nighttime.
Top
Da-da-da,
right, drop down.
focus, do not disturb. There you go.
Hmm.
He said, look at
That's how you go to sleep at night.
So Kelly, you ain't know about to do not disturb
At
all
all.
this
Phone
time.
downstairs.
Right.
I know somebody been mad at you.
Why leave the phone downstairs and go upstairs and go to sleep?
Right.
They're gonna do it backwards again.
Phone on the charger downstairs.
Tell him, look, second week, we already got furniture.
Right.
Moving quick, man. He moving quick.
Improvise.
Right.
Don't fit it, nothing.
Yeah, I'll make it work. Okay.
I gotta get one of those.
All right,
This
cool.
thing, I gotta get one.
Yeah, that whole iPad.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it holds it up to an iPad.
Okay. All right, you ready? I'm
All
ready.
right, we all going.
Okay,
Right
that's
on time.
better. But Kelly, just be conscious, so just lean in a little bit, and then.
All right, I'm about to go live on Yellow Bucks.
Cool. Right on time, 7:30.
We're live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of the Culture RE podcast. The RE stands for real estate. Today we have a special guest. He goes by the name of Casino. I'm sitting here with my partner, Tim Mercer. And we're going to fill you guys in on what we have going on currently and our future endeavors. So make sure you stay tuned, keep watching, click the like button, subscribe, and comment on this post as we go along. And we'll answer any questions that you may have throughout. So I'm sitting here with Casino.
All right.
I'll let him introduce himself and then he'll pass it to Tim.
All right, so my name is Casino. I have a YouTube channel called Casino as the name. We have about 37,000 subscribers, and we mainly talk about real estate, trucking, entrepreneurship, those types of things, and it's pretty much it.
Go. Yeah, I'm Tim T. Mercer, aka the Bootstrap Millionaire. Wrote a book about entrepreneurship, real estate, finance, and really excited about talking with Casino. And talking about all things real estate and hopefully be able to answer a lot of questions you guys may have about real estate.
All right. Typically, I'm the one sitting in the hot seat in the middle, asking all the questions and bouncing them back and forth over our partner, Gene. He's out of town currently, but he'll be here on the next podcast. So today, we owe the pleasure to Casino to be me for today when it comes to keeping this podcast rolling and asking any questions from a new investor standpoint.
Right, because I actually am, well, I've been an investor because I have a rental property, but I want to get into development, things like that. And the way I got my first house was I bought it and then I moved somewhere else and rented it out. So I didn't necessarily go into it from a straight off the street investor kind of mindset, but this time I am trying to get in, trying to find the lenders, trying to find out the properties, trying to find the builders. So from a financial standpoint, how does one get started? What would they need if I'm a brand new investor? I don't really know where to go. I mean, I have an idea what I want to do, but how do I fund my first deal?
Well, it all depends what kind of property you're looking to buy, right? Okay. Me personally, I would recommend anybody that's initially getting into real estate, duplexes, triplexes, quads, right?
Right.
Anything above the single family home, right? Gotcha. And not to say the single family is bad, but think of it like this. If you're buying your first piece of property and it's a duplex, you can actually live on one side of it and rent out the other side. And now that tenant is actually paying your mortgage, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what I recommend to people that are for initially getting into real estate. Look at buying a duplex. Look at buying a quad. Something that, because in those with a duplex, you can actually get FHA financing. So you can actually go in and buy the property with 3.5% down.
As a single family home.
Single
4 units.
That's right. Yeah,
Gotcha.
2 to 4 units, and so now you got those other people paying your mortgage, and you were able to. The only thing you put down was 3.5%, and then in some cases, because you are owner occupied, it's owner occupied property, you can actually get down payment assistance. They have down payment assistance now, right?
Okay.
So that's a great way for new investors to be able to buy real estate, live in it, and have it for an investment purposes. Yeah.
Okay, so is the, like, say, financing the same? Because let's say I have enough money to afford a single-family
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
But if I wanna buy a duplex or a 4-unit, do they take into account the possible rent that I may make from?
Well, if it's owner occupied, they're not taking that into consideration when you're going through the underwriting because it's based off of your income,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
But think of it like this, I mean, it's just extra money in your pocket.
Right.
Where now those individuals that are living on the other side of the units in the duplex or the quad, I mean, you're living for free.
Right.
Basically, right? Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so you're essentially living for free and you got everyone else paying for where you live. And that, to me, that's an investment, right? I mean, you're actually generating money because you're now able to keep the money that you would be paying for where you live. You actually keep that in your pockets.
Gotcha. And what's the difference between, say, now, I'm speaking
Yeah,
from
yeah.
a new investor standpoint, but what's the difference from, say, a townhouse and a quad? Like, if there's a townhouse that has 4 units, but I can't buy those 4 units, but I can buy a 4-unit
Yeah.
as a single-family home, what's the difference there?
Well, I'll let Kelley, because that's more on the development side to kind of just, talk about that.
All right, but before I talk about that, we have our sound guy that's adjusting the sound for some of you viewers who may not be able to hear us right now. So we may need to pause for a second.
Yeah, okay,
It's not coming through.
okay.
You can stop the lives.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna keep rolling on Casino as a name. They can hear.
Right.
The more technical you get, the more problems.
Now, we're gonna take a brief intermission because the sound isn't working.
You gotta get the sound right.
Yeah,
It's coming through, but it's not going through to the box.
okay,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay. So how long were you in finance?
Man, I started financing real estate back in 2002. I actually actually started doing private lending in 2002.
I was in 11th grade.
You kidding? I'm aging myself. Yeah, back in 2002.
Right after 9/11, huh?
Yeah, right after 9/11. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause I mean I did pretty well in the IT game, and then I started using that money to do private loan deals and stuff. Like, we started building. I worked with some builders, started building
Right,
houses
right.
and stuff like that. But I like your question because you think about it, there are a lot of people that are probably new to this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
um,
new,
So like,
Create a new
when I
line
was
real quick.
originally looking to buy my house, I wanted to buy a 4-unit or at least a
Yeah.
duplex, but
It's
now
not,
I didn't have any.
Wait,
that
that-
line
that
is
is
from that one is
It was none, no
Yeah.
zoning for it.
that's right. Yeah.
So,
So make a new one.
I saw a townhouse, it was 2 of them, they were connected, both for sale, and I was like, yo, can I get financing on this? They said, nah, cause they're 2 separate
they're two
houses.
separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two
So
separate.
our workaround real quick, guys, if I can't get it to go through the yellow box like it did last week,
Yeah.
we're just gonna record on there because everything is going through. We're just gonna record on there, and then I'll just do a post to put out that episode because everyone here can still hear you. Everyone here can still hear you. So it's just something going on with that yellow box.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Anything connected all up to everything? That
yeah, keep everything connected.
Yeah, Atlanta's hard. I mean, do you think Atlanta's hard to find quads in Atlanta?
Very hard.
There's none. From when I was looking, it was
Yeah.
none.
Yeah.
And they have it so it's like, it's not zoning for it anymore.
Yeah.
Everything is zoned for townhouse.
See, that's why I like. I was looking at an apartment building in Chicago. I mean, those places, man. You find quads, duplexes, apartments. I mean, all this stuff up there. You know.
Yeah.
Good to share. That's true.
Yeah, somebody was telling me there was like a neighborhood of 4-unit
There we go.
buildings in like Alabama somewhere,
Oh yeah.
and they was like pretty cheap. They're like 80,000 for
Alright, go to that.
whatever, but
Go to that.
I have no idea
you
what
good to go?
what the living like.
All right, put it down.
Situation
We're
down
gonna
that way.
check that audio.
Okay.
Yeah, just lean it up on there.
You ready to get it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think so.
She got everything hooked back up for a live. Let me test the audio real quick. Casino, do me a favor and
Yep.
talk.
Yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino is the name. Yep. Mic check.
sounds like shit.
Mic
Go
check,
ahead, talk
mic
again
check,
for me.
mic check, mic check. Hello? Hello? Mic check, mic check.
Okay.
Yo.
So we're gonna bypass it because it's coming out like shit on the yellow box.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah.
great on this.
So when we go live, I mean, the Yellow Box is broadcasting live to YouTube and everything, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing. We probably won't be able to do that because it sounds like it's a big loud hum. So this is line in,
Yo,
coming
yo.
in from here
Yo,
into here.
Yo,
And if you listen to it, it's just a loud hum
Yo,
coming
You don't have another line in cable?
yo,
I
yo.
don't. It's smaller than that.
Yeah, it's
Here,
cheap.
get her, Faye.
Do you check the other mics?
The mics are good. It's the
Okay,
connection
okay.
from here.
Yeah,
You got another line in
Yeah.
cable?
Yeah, Faye, look at my bag. That pink line in cable, that pink audio cable.
Which bag?
My camera bag.
Oh, that cable, that's horrible. I won't plug that up in my car.
Only one I got is
Went by the
little-
Dollar Tree and bought a
only
cable.
one I got is this one for the Rode mic here.
You got good be saying that. That's good.
Hey, G, it's still recording, so yeah.
Test for me.
Mic check, mic check.
Still doing the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, and I would use this cable last week and it worked perfect. So it's just either something going on with
Or-
this or to this.
Could you try cutting it off, the box off and cutting it back on? Or if you cut it off, it'll mess up everything.
Keep talking.
Like, hello? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo. Mic check, mic
Okay.
check. Mic check. Mic check.
It sounds better than it did, but I'm just maxed out.
Yo,
It's
hey,
rocking,
what's going
man.
on right now? You
Yeah,
watching
we're better.
Casino as a name?
Oh,
So it's good?
Is it better?
It's
So
better.
we can hear it now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just maxed out on here, but
Yeah.
not on here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll
Okay.
do an intro.
I gotta
again.
max it out on here just
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can hear
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So you can
So
hear it,
now we
yeah.
gotta mic check all the mics again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, we good to go.
Cool.
All right,
All right, so right now y'all watching the behind the scenes of how this thing get put together. You know what I'm saying?
Behind the scenes. you know.
All the way behind.
All the way behind.
All the way
the scenes.
behind.
That's what I'm.
All right, guys, here we go.
All right, let's go.
Live take two.
Take two. For y'all watch.
We are live.
All right, welcome back to podcast episode number 2, the Culture RE podcast. The RE stands for real estate. And today I'm joined by none other than Casino and, of course, Mr. Tim Mercer. While our partner Gene is out of town, he's going to take the helm of, not the helm, he's going to take his spot in the podcast. So if y'all got any good questions, make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel or social media account, wherever you may be watching this, to stay up to date on all culture-related real estate issues. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Casino. I have a YouTube channel called Casino is the Name. We're at about 37,000 subscribers right now. The channel is about trucking, real estate, entrepreneurship, pretty much anything, forward moving. And now I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Tim Mercer.
All right, what's up, family? My name is Tim T. Mercer, aka the Bootstrap Millionaire. I wrote a book called Bootstrap Millionaire, so hopefully you can find that on Amazon and check it out. But I'm really excited to be on the podcast today with these guys. And hey, look, we're gonna talk about real estate. So if you guys have any questions, hey, make sure you send those questions over so we can answer them for you. There's a lot of wealth of knowledge here, so hopefully take advantage of it.
Right, I know I'm about to.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna do this a little different. I'm usually in the middle seat, but today, like I say, Mr. Casino is here, and he's gonna ask a lot of questions that you guys may be wanting to ask as well. So we'll see if we can answer these questions and help everybody get a better understanding of what we have going on.
All right, so coming from a place of just new person coming into being an investor, there's so many questions, right? And one of the main questions that I know people ask me that I'm curious about, is about how to get started. Like, what is the first step if I want to maybe buy a house, like I want to buy something for investment where I want to rent it out. I want to buy something I can rent. What would you suggest that I start at? Should I get a single family home? Should I get a duplex? Should I go straight to try to get an apartment building? What would you say?
My suggestion would be to, first of all, buy a duplex. I know a lot of people like, and nothing wrong with single family homes, don't get me wrong, but if it's your first time buying real estate, period, buying a duplex is where you should start because you can live on one side of that duplex and rent out the other side. Now you're actually living for free. right? I mean, that's the ultimate investment,
Yeah.
my point. I mean, I wish I would have known that years ago when I first got out of college and I bought my first home. I would have bought a duplex, lived on one side and rented out the other side. Now I'm living for free. And then I can take that excess money now and start looking at other property to buy to build up my real estate portfolio.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is that while they're paying it down,
Yeah,
the value of it is still going up,
absolutely.
and you're owning more of it, and you're living for free. Cause
Absolutely.
no matter who you are, when you invest in real estate, you gotta still live somewhere as well, right? So if they're gonna pay for it, it's
Absolutely.
better, right? But okay, so how does somebody get funding for something like that?
Well, if you are buying a duplex, you can always, because remember, you're buying it so that you're gonna live in it, right? You can get an FHA loan, which is 3.5% down, right? I mean, that's only 3.5% down, which is pretty affordable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, there's also down payment assistance that a lot of people can get as well. And if you're a veteran, that's even better, because if you're a veteran, you can actually get 100% financing as a veteran. So, like, I'm a veteran, right? My first home, I bought, and you're a veteran, right? Yeah, so okay, yeah, I'm Army, so I ain't gonna blame it on you. Right. Nah, it was actually the best branch to be in. But, yeah, you can get 100% financing. So think of it like this, I mean, you got 100% financing on a duplex, and you renting out one side, you're living for free, someone's paying down the debt on that property for you. You're building equity off of someone else paying for that equity. That's a great thing for
Right,
it.
right. And
Yeah.
so I'm curious, right? Like, what's the most amount of units as far as like is it a triplex, is it a quad, is it a,
Yeah.
or can you, like, at what point is it considered commercial property?
Right, that's a good question, yeah. So 1 to 4 units is considered to be residential, right? When you get over 4 units, that's considered to be commercial, right? That's commercial multifamily. Now the rules in the game change once you get over 4 units. So, for example, you can't buy a 5-unit apartment building and expect that the lender's gonna give you a loan similar to what we just talked about, right? Because it's not quote unquote owner occupied. But if it's 1 to 4 units, then you can live in one, rent out the others, and it would be considered an owner occupied loan.
So even if I do plan on living in one of the 5 units, it wouldn't still be considered owner occupied?
No.
Just because it's that extra unit?
Just because it's over that 4 units, that's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good
Yeah.
information. All right. So, Kelley, like, when you got started, what did you see, I guess, because I'm sure you probably saw people have hard times first starting out. Maybe somebody tried to go bigger than they should have first time out. What would you suggest somebody start?
I mean, as
On
far
the
as
flipping side.
as far as the flipping side, the fix and flip side, I see a lot of people jumping out and they make a lot of mistakes based on their lack of education.
Right.
And their lack of education leads them to hiring bad subs. Because if you have a bad sub, then of course the entire project is going to be a bad project, because it may cost you more money than you made.
When you say bad subs, what's bad subs?
A subcontract.
Oh, okay.
Or-
Yeah, I think we going from, we don't know nothing.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
so,
right.
okay,
So
bad
bad subs are
subcontract.
bad
Okay.
subcontractors,
Gotcha.
meaning the people who come in and work
Do the
for you.
work.
Those are the subcontractors.
Gotcha.
And I always tell people, the lack of good education could have you messing up from the sub floors to the subcontractors. Like, if you don't know anything about what you're getting into, you need to build your education base up. You need to link with people who currently do this, and you need to go out and view other projects.
Okay,
So you'll know what to expect.
So let's say I want to do a flip, and I know now you're telling me I need to build my education up. Where do I start to?
I mean, you can start with us. I mean, if you start Gene and I, reaching out to fellas like us, and of course, Mr. Tim. We have a YouTube channel, KP and Gino J Flip Atlanta on YouTube. We have 100 videos on there. Of course, we do boot camps and coaching. Like, we have the Construction King Academy, which we have online. The courses and the boot camps are in person. Like, we have a boot camp at the end of this month, April 29th through May 1st, the Fix and Flip boot camp. So it's calling everybody who wanted to ever get into fixing and flipping. You can visit fixandflipbootcamp.com to get more information on that boot camp. And then in June, we have the new construction boot camp, which teaches experienced or even new investors how to actually build a house from the ground up.
Gotcha. Because new construction is winning.
Is
right
where
now.
it's at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, with the housing market the way it is and the housing shortage, when you can create your own inventory, I mean, the sky's the limit if you can keep buying the land.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Tim,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of? I'm gonna tell you, like, this is something that people really want to know. All right, who's just trying to get in this?
Mhm.
I want to buy a house for investment. What kind of credit score do I need?
Well, you need at least a minimum of 620.
620.
Right. I think
Remember that.
Yeah, I think you can go as low as 620. But you got to also understand, real estate deals are not, and for investment purposes, not based strictly just on your credit. It's really based on the deal, the project in of itself, right? Now, having a 620 or above credit score just shows lenders that you are responsible, right? Now, of course, if you got 400 credit score, I mean, obviously,
not time.
this ain't the
Got
time,
some other
right?
things to work
Right,
on.
yeah. But most lenders, we know that people run into challenges and times, things like that. But real estate, it's all based on the deal because it's all based on the ARV, right? If you have a property, ARV is the after repair value, right? So it's the value of the property after you do some of the construction. So a lender is going to look at the ARV and going to base their loan pretty much off of the ARV, right? So, and as you're constantly developing, building the property, like you're doing, putting in framing and things like that, the equity of that property is constantly going up. So the lender just wants to be at a certain position on the ARV just in case the deal goes bad, they don't lose their money or they can easily exit out of it. Because most of the lenders don't want to be in the real estate business. They want to be in the money business.
In the money.
Right. So they don't want to own the real estate, right? They just want to be able to finance the real estate, get a pretty good return on their money. So if the deal makes sense and the deal is structured right, that's why I tell people always know your numbers and know how to analyze the deal, then the credit score isn't that important. I mean, unless you, like I said, unless you got a 400 credit score, unless you just a horrible, person, right? But other than that, the credit score really isn't that important when you're buying investment property now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I was asking was because, like, if we were gonna start with single family, like a duplex, and I'm gonna try to buy it as it's my house, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna live in it.
Yeah.
And
Now in that case, it is important. Credit score is important, and even in that case, you can still go as low as a 620, 620 credit score. There are a lot of, I'm telling you, man, there are a lot of programs now that's coming out. I don't know. See, you say you was 11, well, in 2002, but you remember the '08 crash, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you remember? Okay.
yeah, I bought a house in 09.
Okay,
because
right.
of the 08 crash.
Right. So
Got a great deal.
right. So there were a lot of things, and Kelley know this. Before the '08 crash, there were a lot of, mortgage programs out there. I'm telling you, it was kind of like the Wild Wild West because back then you didn't even have to have a license to do loans, and
Wow.
as a result, but those same programs that they used to have back then are starting to come back now.
What?
Like right now, you got interest only. I can do an interest only loan up to $3 million crib with just 10% down. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You got different types. You got bank statement loans now. You got all these different types of loans programs that are coming back out. Interest only, 40-year AM. Now think about this. A 40-year amortization. You remember?
What?
Yeah, a 40-year AM. First 10 years would be interest only, but then when you come out of that, the rest is still based on a 40-year AM. So which means that I have a pretty favorable payment because it's based on a 40-year amortization.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
sure. Like,
So in those loans, in my opinion, and Kelley knows this because we see how the pricing of real estate is going up. Those loan programs have to be structured to fit in with where the pricing of the properties are going. Yeah.
wow. Okay. So Kelley, why do you think? Because see, Kelley is an agent.
Yeah.
And in case you don't know, he's a lender.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, why do you think that the Atlanta market, or real estate in general, I guess, cause kind of across the nation is kind of crazy, but the Atlanta market, why do you think it's so hard right now to get into real estate in the Atlanta market?
I think it's hard because of the amount of people that's moving to Atlanta. I know last year when I looked at the polls or whatnot, there was an average of 1,500 people moving here a week.
Wow.
Not a month, a week.
Wow.
Wow.
So you know that's not enough property in and around the metro Atlanta area to subsidize these people a place to live and whatnot. So with the amount of people moving here, just like a lot of people wonder why the value of property is going up nationwide. And it's not because people are moving to these areas, it's because the price of material is higher. I mean, more people want to buy now. And the hedge funds are playing a game right now. They're the
almost
ones that's
unregulated.
really controlling it. If you do enough research, you'll see
Yeah.
that they're buying everything to rent it out.
Yep. I just saw
And so
a
the people who
neighborhood.
want to buy a house,
Yeah.
it's harder for them to find properties when neighborhoods, when builders like D.R. Horton are building for hedge funds to rent.
I just saw an entire neighborhood.
Oh,
brand
yeah,
new
everywhere.
houses, and it says for rent.
rent.
The whole neighborhood.
Whole
is
neighborhood.
all houses.
And I
though.
think that's so wrong. I'm
It's very
gonna be completely honest with you. I think that's so wrong. And I'm not a big fan of government regulation, don't get me wrong, right? But I think that in certain cases, certain things need to be regulated. I think it's wrong for that, right? When you got, and because you think about when the surge happened, when people were overpaying for houses, this wasn't, the hedge fund guys came in and started running up the prices. And I believe the hedge fund guys created this illusion that you have to overpay for the property. Right? And then, no disrespect to real estate agents, but then real estate agents obviously started telling their buyers, well, you have to go over.
Right.
But think about that. You're telling this person to get into a negative equity situation from day one.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't make sense. The banks or the lenders are not going to get in a negative equity situation. So why should you? I often tell people, think like a lender. Right? Buy property like a lender, right? Because ultimately, you want to. They're the ones that own it anyway. But but yeah, you want to think like a lender, and so those hedge fund guys, like you said, have really created a problem. And I believe, you remember like in 08 when, in my opinion, the 08 it was a money grab. It was like I think the 08 crash stole wealth from the American people. I think you're seeing the exact same thing happening right now in just a different way.
Almost in reverse.
Almost in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like when I was first coming here, neighborhoods could only sell about 10% to like investors.
Yes.
I went the other day and looked at the townhouse, and of course it was online listed that this townhouse was this much. I wanted to go see because it was like 2 something, but that was like low for right now, right?
Yeah.
So I go just to see. And of course, it was already, the whole neighborhood has already been bought out. But they were like, this neighborhood was pretty much all bought by like hedge funds or people who had a lot of money, and could buy, just a unit, because this neighborhood in particular was not regulated by how many they could sell to like, single people trying to buy a house to live in.
Yeah.
Because it should be like about 10% for investors, and then 90% should be like people want to live in the neighborhood.
Right.
But it was like this neighborhood wasn't regulated like that. So if you wanted to buy a 4-unit, like a quadruplex, but you can't really buy a quadruplex here, they had 4-unit townhouses connected, and you could just buy. And they were like, people was like, let me get those 5, let me get those 4. So it's like, how can a regular person who's working a 9-to-5 job, or a teacher, or a doctor, even at times,
And you know where it all started. Now this may be controversial for a lot of people, especially black folk, but it all started with Barack Obama. I think it was, I don't know if it was, it may have been 08. Remember when the Jobs Act was signed? And there was a provision in there that opened up, because before 08, only accredited investors could invest with hedge funds, right? And you have to say, hey, I'm an accredited investor. I have a net worth of $1 million. Or I make $250,000 a year, and now I can invest with this fund, right? After that bill was signed, that's when you started seeing crowdfunding come into play. Think about it, all these peer street, all these folks started crowdfunding money where the non-accredited investor, could invest. And that's when you started seeing them market to people, hey, put $500 into this REIT, right? And then and that's how they're crowding all this money and then taking this money and buying up the neighborhoods. And unfortunately, they're buying up the neighborhoods that's probably more affecting us, people of color, than anyone else.
Correct.
So
It's definitely affecting us here in Atlanta.
it's
I mean,
crazy.
even back in Florida, like I got partners in Central Florida, and I was driving to the house a couple weeks ago, and I see the brand new neighborhoods going up with the same signs out front.
Wow.
Houses for rent coming
For
soon.
rent. Yeah, it's like, what is happening? Like, I mean, I guess it's nothing against it,
I call it subdivided apartments
Yeah,
because it's basically what it is.
yeah,
I like that.
It's like they're not letting you own America anymore.
right.
Definitely not.
I mean, you can rent it all day, but
Yeah.
you'll never own the land
And
that
even
you sleep on.
And trying to buy a house, I know people who are trying to go in 30,000 over asking and submitting 36 offers, and none of them get accepted. They get
Right.
beat out by somebody offering more and all cash.
That happens weekly. That happens weekly
Crazy.
with us. And when we try to snatch up deals, even off-market deals, even
Yeah.
deals that are like teardowns.
Dang.
People are overpaying because they want the land.
Yeah,
They want to have something tangible. Like I tell people all the time, people rent houses down here in the area that we're in, or rent condos.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't rent a condo. It's an apartment, sir.
Yeah, right.
A condo has a mortgage.
Right.
right.
That is
right,
an apartment.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Don't tell nobody
That's
you live in
right.
a condo.
That's right. Yeah, condo has a mortgage. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the difference
Yeah.
between apartment and condo. One
Yeah.
has a mortgage, one has a lease.
right.
I mean,
But Kelley, are you seeing with these cash buyers, people that's buying, are they? Because I had a discussion with someone just recently about this, right? So obviously, everybody's concerned with cash buyers, right? Are you seeing that these cash buyers are more institutional, meaning hedge funds, or are they actually individuals that are coming in and buying? I know in Atlanta we get a lot of people from California, New York, and they come in with a lot of cash.
Yeah.
And
Me personally, I think it's a big machine with one face.
right.
I don't think it's an individual with
I
a lot of
agree.
money.
I agree.
I think they got a lot of money behind them.
Yeah.
But the people that's doing that, they're just giving them money to go out and do it, and then keep it separated. Because when like you said, California, New York, we have people call us every week, California or New York, that want to get in the Atlanta market and buy stuff. Just whatever you got,
Whatever it
send them the
is.
deal.
Yeah.
Because they overpay in California.
Yeah.
And they really
It's
overpay in
cheap
New York.
compared to-
to
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
two markets, Atlanta's cheap. So if someone comes to Atlanta with $10 million, although they may have it themselves, it's probably 20 people behind them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a small hedge fund.
Yeah.
So when they come here and they buy $10 million, to get you a lot in Atlanta. Like
Yeah.
it'll get you a neighborhood.
Yeah, and what's crazy is hedge funds have way more money. Like a small hedge fund
Oh, yeah.
might be $100 million.
Right, yeah, and that's a small
That's a
hedge
small
fund.
hedge fund. It's a
Right, right.
baby,
Yeah, that's a baby hedge fund.
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
You're not really a hedge fund fully unless you're like
Right.
500 to $1 billion. You know?
Right.
And 1% of $1 billion is 10 million. So
Yeah.
it's a different kind of money. And how can the firefighter compete with that? He got 3 kids and he's begging to get in a place
Yeah.
and can't even get close to it.
Well, I know one of the things that we've been doing with some of our clients is because we know that lenders begin to realize that the cash buyers, we don't want our borrowers to lose on cash buyer deals. So now you have loan programs that are structured around that. Like we have the TBD on loans, right? To be determined loan, which means that I can underwrite you all the way through. Only thing I'm missing is the property. So I'll underwrite you all the way through, and I say, once you go find that house, soon as you find a house, we immediately can close within less than 24 hours, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a TBD loan, to be determined, because what the property needs.
And you already pre-qualified
Yeah,
for a certain
you
amount,
are-
so you get that address and you run your
Yeah,
meeting
the
codes.
only thing we need is just the address, right? There are lenders right now that, one of our main lenders, I mean, they got tools now where we don't even do appraisals, right? From the desktop, the lender will do the evaluation, no appraisal is done, And that is another way to compete with the cash buyers, because
Right.
cash buyers are waiving appraisals. Now, I would not recommend anybody to waive an inspection, right? But
right,
you know,
right.
but especially if you're buying a home for yourself.
Right,
but then you can get that inspection done within the due diligence period, right?
Right.
So there are programs now, loan programs that allow you to compete with that cash buyer. So people out there, don't think that you can't compete. You just got to have the right financial products in place to be able to compete with it.
Okay, now I got a question that
Yeah.
I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what does, let's say I want to buy a house,
Yeah.
and let's say, let me give an example. It's a house in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
and let's say my house is valued around 400 and some thousand, right?
Mhm.
Like 404 or
Mhm.
408 or whatever.
Mhm.
They listed a house in the cul-de-sac for 489,000.
Mhm.
It's not gonna appraise for 489,000, right? So when I go get my loan, my
Yes.
lender is typically gonna use an appraised value
Yes.
of what they expect the house to be
It's
really
gonna
worth.
the loan is gonna be based off of the appraised value or the purchase price, whichever is lower.
Okay, so
Right.
so now we're talking about, and let's say this house should probably be worth less than mine, just by maybe a couple thousand,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So now this house is like 80,000 over
Mhm.
what it could even appraise for,
Mhm.
right? And you know, usually appraisals, for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on, but I got my house appraised once and it was lower than what the market was selling. And I don't know how, you know, they figured that. Even the lender, like, you know, because they were trying to do a cash out refinance, it was like trying to give me 100,000 and all that. I was like, let me entertain it. But the appraisal came back below it, and they was like, we don't know what they're doing because, you know, but it happens, I guess. But now, of course, the market is up, but, you know, you might be able to look on Zillow or Redfin and see what the house may be worth, but sometimes appraisers are behind that, you know, even. But the market isn't. Like the market, they coming in 30,000 over.
Well,
But what does a
yeah.
person do? Because the only money I can get, even if I come with a 3.5%, there's an $80,000 difference on
Yeah.
top of that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Well, that's where we were just talking about the negative equity, right?
Mhm.
That's the piece that I me personally, I think that buyers should not overpay. Because when you're overpaying, now you're right. What's going to happen is the lender's going to say the house appraised for 400, they're asking for 489. You want the house,
Right.
so we're going to base the loan off of 400,
Yeah.
and that difference you got to come to the closing table with that difference, right?
Right.
This is why I say now you are in a negative equity situation.
Absolutely.
Because you may have moved that money from a 401k, maybe you moved it from cash in your bank account, you put it in the walls of the home, and now it has negative equity because simply not because the homes, hopefully the homes may continue to evaluate an area, but as you just said, they're not evaluating there because the appraiser came in at a certain price, but because the market is saying, the sellers are saying, hey man, we're in a bidding war, and now you're gonna overpay for it, you're putting yourself in a negative equity situation. So the question is, you have to make up the difference, right? More likely you're gonna be in a negative equity situation as a result of that, right? And some people are okay with that, I guess, because maybe they feel that the homes, you know, maybe the value will eventually come up to that. But the point that you was making about appraisals to me is interesting because if the homes are coming in, if you got all these homes selling but people are overpaying, why would the appraisal be coming in for less? Because the comps should be dictating the value. yeah. That would be interesting to me because I would ask the appraiser, how is it coming in appraising this amount when the comps in this area, Johnny down the street just sold his for 489. Even if he did overpay, that's a comp. Yeah. So
that's a situation, I guess, and
Yeah.
then not a lot of people. You brought up an interesting point. Believe it or not a lot of people know you can use your 401k money that you put in 401k.
yes, you can.
Yeah. So I think that in case some of you guys don't know, you may feel like I haven't saved up this 3.5%, which on 100,000 is 3,500. So for every $100,000, I'm an accountant, by the way. So
Yeah.
for
So you understand? Yeah, that's right.
So for
Yeah.
every $100,000, it's $3,500. It's
Mhm.
3.5%. So if it's $200,000 house, just do 3,500
$7,000.
times 2, 7,000. Same thing, 300,000, you need 10,500. You may have that sitting in your 401k, but you may be trying to save it up, and it may not be working out. The saving money part may not be working, but it's in your 401k. You can go pull that out of there. You've been working a few years.
And you make a good point too for anybody that's looking to buy property from an investment point of view. A lot of people don't realize that you can use your 401k to buy real estate and you don't get hit with the taxes and penalties, right? Because you can roll it over into an IRA, self-directed IRA, to let the IRA invest in the property. And in some cases, well, obviously the income is going to flow back into the IRA. So you may ask, well, how do I get the money out that flows back in the IRA? Well, you can take a salary from the IRA.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay,
You take a salary from the IRA. So you don't get hit with that 20%, with the 20% penalty and the taxes that you typically get hit with.
So this was the other part of that statement, because I knew you can do self-directed
Yeah,
IRAs,
yeah.
and I've been looking at maybe doing something like that with mine,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't sure. Because I mean, I'm fine with investing for the long term.
But you wanted to know how I can get the money out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is,
Because the money gonna come, the cash flow is gonna come back into the IRA, but you can take a salary.
Wow.
They pull it out that way.
Yeah, because I know they were saying like some people's IRAs, because you can only put so much in the IRA, but you can make money with the IRA.
You can make money, yeah.
And so some people, even though it may be a small investment into the IRA, but if you're using it for like real estate or something like that,
you can make money.
Make millions inside of your IRA.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Okay, so Kelley, if you were, I guess right now you're into developing now, like as far as like building from the ground, right? So going to your course, or finding somebody maybe in the area who can teach them, but going to your course, what am I learning in your course exactly?
All right, for the fix and flip course that's at the end of the month, April 29th through May 1st, we're going to be going over, and we say this a lot, everything from A to Z.
Okay.
We're going to be going over how to find the deals, how to fund the deals, and how to flip the deal, meaning renovate it.
Okay.
So we're going over all three of those
So
aspects.
find, fund, and flip. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'll do all that.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you guys our methods
The
on
3 Fs.
finding the deals. Correct. We're going to have lenders on, like Joe Castaneda. He's one of the lenders. We're going to have a couple other lenders there that'll be giving out game as well and helping you guys understand the lending side of it, because a lot of people lack that information. They think that they're going to need everything when it comes to buying an investment house because they can't get a traditional loan on it, which is not true. So you can either use private money, hard money, whatever, and we'll be going over all the type of money that you can use to purchase these deals and fund the renovations. And then we're going to give you our pool of subcontractors for everybody that attends the event and signs up to the coach.
You give them your subs.
If they become one of our coaching students, then we'll give them our subs and make sure that
Y'all don't know how crazy that
Look,
is.
listen, I was telling them, I was like, man, boy, y'all good, boy. They killing them, giving them. It's like the dope man giving out his connect.
Yeah.
Right, give it out.
Yeah, right. Like, you want my connect too?
Right.
You know?
See, they have to pay for that. Now,
Right.
the students that just come to the boot camp,
Right.
they'll get the methods on how to attain good quality subs. But for the coaching students, like we have with the new construction students, we have 13, 14 students that have all already got lots under contract. And we're going to be building with these students on their new first project.
Nice.
So with the renovation, it'll be very similar to that. We'll be helping them flip their first or whatever house they may be on with our pool of subs.
So you're partnering with them.
Correct.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
We're
Yeah.
definitely partnering with them.
So you also, and I know this from speaking to hard money lenders, if you have experience or partner with somebody who has experience, you can get like
Better
Better
rates,
finance,
right?
yeah.
But if you just coming in, hey, this is my first flip, I don't know what I'm doing, they're gonna charge you more. Okay, to lend you that money.
I got Joe working with partners that I have down in Florida.
Oh,
That's
nice.
using my experience because I'm gonna manage the projects for them. So
Gotcha.
as long as I'm involved, Gene involved, Tim's involved,
Yeah.
you pretty good
Yeah.
across the United States. So
Across the U.S. And then after you do a few of them with them, then you have enough experience to go out on your own, and lenders will trust you.
Yeah.
I think it's like 3 or 4 flips they want you
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
released before
yeah.
you.
before they
yeah.
turn you loose and give you better rates or whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
working with us, teaming up with us, partnering or whatever,
Yeah.
will get you a better rate out the door.
So you find the deal. They teach you how to assess the property. Like if you go to a house that you see on the side of the road, and you can go in, they teach you how to walk it and estimate the cost of the renovation and stuff like that, so you'll know whether or not it's worth it for you, especially with the area and stuff like that. So you learn everything, and they giving you their contacts, the lenders. It's
that's
crazy.
strong.
We give y'all a lot because honestly,
Yeah, that's a
I know
lot.
it's underpriced, but we're just trying to feed the culture right now. We're trying to get everybody excited and motivated.
I've seen situations where now, I don't know what you guys are charging for your course, but I've seen situations where just for the course where you had some people charge folks $30,000
Yeah,
just the course, and not the one-on-one consulting, right? Not the hand holding like you, because you guys are basically saying, hey, I'm gonna mentor you through this. I'm gonna you're gonna use my contacts, my resources. You're gonna leverage my experience, all of that. I mean,
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people just would charge you $30,000 just to sit in the room.
right. And those people, I mean, you get what you pay for in most circumstances.
Yeah,
And if you got $30,000 to go listen to somebody tell you how to fix credit,
right.
you really love credit.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know how to do that credit.
You don't know how to fix credit. But when it comes to real estate, if you invest that type of money with us in the course, we're going to make sure you succeed so you can go brag and be a testimony about your story and situation that you had with us. Like, I charge people daily to go look at properties, and I might be at the property 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm gonna charge them $150 inside of $285. Outside of $285, I'm $250, $200.
Gotcha.
And the information that I'm using to calculate these estimates is the
in
same
the
information
course.
that we're sharing in the course.
They can turn around and go
Listen,
start a
let me tell you
business
something.
and make
Let
money
me
doing
tell
it.
you, we had, Gene and I created a evaluation course on how to evaluate renovations.
Right.
And we dropped it 10 months ago. Like, we had a classroom course. We had like 8 students. First course we ever did. Great course. The course was so good and underpriced that Gene and I was like, man, why?
Right.
Why did we
right.
do that?
Yeah.
Because all the students that took the course
Yeah.
over the last 10 months made over $500,000.
Oh my God. What? All the students.
All of them.
All of them made
Combined made over 500.
Combined, yeah.
We have one set of students
That's crazy.
that took the course,
8
did
students.
their first flip, and they clearing about 170.
First flip.
They closed Friday, last
That's
week,
crazy.
on the first one.
That's
Because they knew a
crazy.
deal when they saw it and they wasn't intimidated by it. Most people would be intimidated because
Yeah.
they can't calculate their numbers correctly.
Yeah.
Or they may be like, because we teach them how to evaluate as well as save money when it comes to renovation. Because you know your numbers. Say if you got 1,000 square foot house and you need insulation, you need sheetrock, divide the house square footage by 10, that give you how many boards of sheetrock you need. So you can calculate in your mind, if I'm paying $50 to finish sheetrock, a board, and I got 100 boards, I know I got $5,000 worth of sheetrock. If I got 20 windows, $300 a window, I got $6,000 worth of windows. So these methods that we have, they're proven, and I can go into like any house
Yeah.
and come out with a scope of work that's right on without any subfloor issues or issues that I can't see
Yeah.
because I'm not getting in the crawl space.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that either.
If it's
Right.
the floors jacked up, I advise you to get the floors examined, and that'd be a different fee from the expert who does that. But as far as I can tell, on
Just
everything,
exterior, above ground.
And that's so important because when you come to a lender and your numbers aren't right, the lender knows that your numbers aren't right.
right?
And you come with your numbers and your numbers look all messed up.
Yeah.
Not only is that lender not going to fund the deal, but you really, it's almost like a kiss of death, because you kind of showing your hand that you don't know what you're doing,
Right.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know something ain't right.
And a lot of times, new people feel offended or feel frustrated with
Yes.
the lender or with the person that they sent out there to do the assessment, because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, they feel like you may be trying to prevent them, but really you're trying to help
Well,
them.
yeah, and I run into this every day, right? And I tell my loan officers this, right? And I know borrowers get frustrated. When I bought my first house, you get frustrated. Oh, you want this paperwork, you want that paperwork, right? Oh, why? I mean, first of all, a underwriter's job is to protect the money of the lender. Think of it like this. If you, and I didn't realize this until I started putting my own money into deals. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, shit, I understand, right? I mean, you know, I want my money to be protected. If you putting your money into these deals, meaning that I came to you and said, man, give me $100,000 and I'm gonna put it on this project that KP is doing. You want me to do the thoroughest due diligence that I possibly,
$100,000.
right, 100, that's right.
I don't care if it's $1,000.
They don't care if it's
I
$1,000,
want
that's
you
right.
to
You want me to
sure.
be straight that, hey man, this thing is solid, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what the underwriters and the lenders do, and the loan officers do. Their job is to ensure that this is not a bad deal for the person that's putting up the money. Because in the end, don't assume that the assumption a lot of people is that, oh, well, I'm bound, I'm getting this money. These companies like Bank of America, a lot of people got, they hate the big banks, right? So you think, well, I'm gonna screw the bank, right? Well, no, man, a lot of these people a lot of this money is coming from private equity groups, hedge funds, which some of your money could be with those hedge funds.
Right.
That's what happened in
That's
08.
exactly right.
right. Yeah. Your money was with these guys that went down, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure that they do their due diligence. You just got to make sure that you know what you're doing.
So, when every time I see a Walmart, like a new Walmart being put up, there's an apartment building that's being placed nearby. A lot of the people who work at Walmart buy stuff for their new apartment, right? And so they take the stuff home that they just work for at Walmart, but then they buy the stuff to take home, and they don't think about the fact that Walmart probably has money or has lended money to some builder, to build those apartments, or they may be some kind of owners in some kind of way. Maybe even if it's passive, the money may have still came from this. So I'm like, man, it's like a continual cycle, and people don't realize it. And then when those people do have retirement accounts, they are putting the money back into Walmart, and then Walmart is taking that money and then they're paying rent to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Do you know who's probably the biggest lender of real estate? From an institution point of view, the biggest lender of real estate are insurance companies.
Oh.
They're the biggest lender. Yeah, they buy more of the paper, because so you'll have people like myself or banks that originate the loan, but they end up selling the paper ultimately to an insurance company. And the reason why is because insurance companies want that long-term interest yield, right? To be able to have money available to pay claims and things like that if they ever have to pay claims, right? So insurance companies are some of the and I learned that years ago. I used to sell insurance, and then when I started realizing that insurance companies was buying a lot of the commercial real, that's when I got into commercial real estate, and buying, brokering loans. But yeah, insurance companies are the biggest lenders out there.
Right.
Okay. So
Good information.
yeah, this is great information. So make sure you get his courses and go to his boot camp. And you guys also have pop-ups that you guys do sometimes.
Yeah, we do pop-up maybe once or twice a month, but you can follow Gene and I like you're following now. On our social media, we'll drop the information, but for the boot camp information, you can go to fixandflipbootcamp.com and look up the information for the closest for the soonest boot camp, which is at the end of the month. And then the new construction boot camp, you can go to the constructionkingacademy.com. No, the constructionkingbootcamp.com for the new construction boot camp.
All right, and make sure you pick up his book, The Bootstrap Millionaire,
On Amazon.
on Amazon. Make sure you get the hard copy. Make sure you
Get the hard copy.
Get the hard copy.
Like I always tell people, when you come to Atlanta, he'll sign it.
That's right. That's right.
He has a beautiful building here too, by the way. And his partner is right now in London. You know what I'm saying? I want to let you know
Wife's
these guys
birthday.
really doing this. Like they really doing this. This
Took his
is,
wife to London for her birthday.
yeah. I make 6 figures and I'm broke compared to them. I ain't know. Like I'm nothing.
We all grinding. We all grinding. We all grinding. We all grinding.
This is beautiful. You got to
Yeah.
see this. You know. But you have anything else you want to say to anybody new trying to, some like 3 tips
Yeah.
for somebody new investing in real estate.
Well, I would say real estate, in my humble opinion, is the best investment out there. Right. Now, I know a lot of people invest in stocks. I know a lot of people invest in crypto, and I'm not, not trying to shed any, bad things on those investment vehicles. But the thing that I like about real estate is because, one, you have leverage, right? Meaning that I can borrow money to invest in it, right? You have cash flow if you invest it right. You have cash flow. You have tax advantages, right? When you can write things off and be able to save money on taxes, right? It's just and it's safe, right? Because it's tangible. It's an asset that I can touch, right? I mean, I can't touch a stock, right? I mean, my hope is that the company is going to do right, right? But I often tell people, particularly entrepreneurs, I mean, what dawned on me when I stopped investing in stocks was the fact that why would I give another company my money when I can use that same money to invest in my own company, right? Because that's ultimately what you're doing. You're giving, so that's almost like KKB, give me $100,000. I'm gonna use it on marketing. I'm gonna use it on payroll. I'm gonna use it on all the things that you should be using it on for your own company.
Right.
Or investing in real estate and things like that. So I would say real estate is, to my humble opinion, the best investment. Start investing in real estate because that's how you're going to build your family's legacy.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm actually in a situation where taxes is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm now having to, of course, I'm forced to put like $20,000 a year, $20,500. I'm maxing out my 401k, but I'm having to put all of that money into my retirement account. But my plan is to be able to turn around and use it for real estate. But I have to do that to reduce my taxable income.
That's
but
right.
real estate is definitely a place to save. That's what I'm trying to get more into now because after this last time, my taxes and the rules are changing this year coming up. So I think a lot of people are going to be running into real estate. But
Yeah.
3 tips.
3 tips. One, always be honest,
There you go.
especially in any business venture you choose to be in. Number 2, surround yourself with like-minded individuals. And number 3, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I'm in the right room.
Those are my 3 tips.
Well, yeah, those are good tips. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
My 3 tips is go to his course, read his book, and keep following and watching.
That's
My
right.
man.
We thank y'all for watching Culture RE Podcast episode number 2. We'll see y'all in a couple weeks again. Thank y'all. FixandFlipBootcamp.com.
And subscribe to Casino is the name on YouTube. All right, we out.
My man. Good stuff, man. You do great moderating, boy.
Appreciate it. All right, man, we out of here.